What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the 10-minute Touch Warmup, our NCAA Championship Countdown this week ahead of the National Championship in Fort Worth, Texas. I'm Corey, and this is the On the Floor with Liv and Core podcast. And Liv is actually in studio right now doing a little meet preview for the weekend in Chicago. So I get the honor of getting to chat with my favorite person from the University of Utah, Maile O'Keefe. Maile, what's going on? I'm so happy you're here.
Hi, Corey. Thanks for having me.
Heck yeah, heck yeah. Well, I mean, when I was thinking about who I wanted to chat with from Utah, I call you my favorite person because, quite honestly, watching your gymnastics through the years has been just amazing. And obviously, I've been with UCLA on the competition floor as a fan in the Huntsman Center, and it's just been an honor to get to see how you threw down your gymnastics career. Obviously, culminating in a way of four NCAA championships as an individual, which is probably not something that you were going to talk about on this podcast. But I do see the trophies behind you. So, I mean, flowers are given where flowers are due. So, congratulations on all of your success.
Thank you so much.
Heck yeah. Well, on this, I want to talk about a little bit of your coaching transition. So, we're going to start the stopwatch. We're going to go for 10 minutes and chat about this season for the Utes and what we can look forward to this week. Sound good?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it. Ready, set, go. Okay, so as I mentioned, we went from athlete to student coach. So I was just mentioning to you, it has been so fun to see you jumping up and down in business casual attire at the end of the vault runway. But what has this transition been like for you, from athlete to coach this season?
Honestly, at the beginning of the summer, it wasn't too bad, but I wasn't in the gym very much. And I was actually telling my boyfriend, I was like, I don't miss it at all. Like, this is great. I just get to work out when I want to, do what I want to. And then I was in the gym for a couple days, and then I came back to him and I said, this is really hard. I miss it so much. But then as time went on and I kind of settled into my position and realized that it's like such a blessing to have something like that I loved so much that I can still be around and involved in. Um, and honestly, I think, like you said, me standing at the end of the vault runway, I kind of did that at one of our inner squads in the gym. And then when we moved into the Huntsman Center, I was like, is that something you guys like want me to do? And they were like, yeah, we loved it. We loved having you down there because Mike likes to watch a vault from the side. So it's kind of nice to have somebody at the end of the vault runway, they said. And that's like the highlight of my meet days too, like just being able to be there and support them. I'm surprised I haven't like rolled an ankle or fallen down while jumping on the mats in my heels, but
Hey, I mean, at one point in time, we were trying to figure out deductions for like your actual gymnastics, but like we don't need to get deducted for rolled ankles as your coaching situation. We don't have that on your on
yeah.
your pocket, but oh, that's cool. I mean, something I hear in that is that you've been really communicative with the athletes of, obviously going from a peer or a teammate to now this new leadership role, but communication with them of what they want is important. So how has that been, the going from teammate to kind of authority figure or leadership role?
Yeah. I mean, honestly, at the beginning, I kind of felt like it was going to be like really weird, just like all around, and maybe that it was going to be easier with the girls that I didn't know coming in as much, like the freshmen and stuff. But I found it a lot easier actually to coach the older girls because we already had that like built-in relationship, that level of trust and respect, and they knew who I was, and they knew that if I said something, it was because I meant it, and I wasn't just going to say stuff to say stuff. So I found it actually a lot easier to like coach the juniors and seniors and like Jaylene super seniors and stuff. Um, but yeah, I mean, I'm here to learn and they know that. And so I kind of wanted to make sure that I wasn't going to do anything to like overstep with them,
Yeah.
especially the girls that I was closer with and like had a closer friendship with, like kind of building that bridge between friend and mentor and coach kind of.
Yeah.
So I always like made sure like, is this something you want me to do? Or, kind of like felt out the vibe with each athlete. And that way I wasn't like gonna make them irritable or anything if I
Yeah.
wasn't, you know, because
Yeah. I mean, I think it's interesting. Like, I'm very pensive with all of this right now because it's honestly very similar to when you are teammates with, one another. you come in as a freshman and you have to become a part of a 20-person roster of people you might know a little bit about, but you've never really competed on the same competition for. And your personality, I'm speaking like very generally on this, is like your personality or my personality might not be the right fit for that particular athlete. And getting to know your teammates and finding the right person to approach that person with that piece of information, right? I'm speaking very
Yeah.
figuratively, is part of building team culture and building championship team culture. So honestly, I feel like now that I'm thinking about it, what you're going through now is very similar to what you did for your time as a student athlete, and that now you're just having to translate more of the perceived leadership kind of aspect of it, which is quite interesting.
Yeah, I mean, definitely like figuring out the ways of like, okay, you can approach this girl this way, but with this athlete, you have to approach her differently. And I mean, like, that's just like part of being a coach. You have to learn your athletes and,
Yeah.
you know, all of that. But it's been great. It's been the best time, honestly. And I wouldn't have it any other way. Like, there's just no way I could have like cold turkey stepped away from gymnastics.
Yeah.
So,
I'm so happy you get that. Okay, the Utes were able to stay in Salt Lake City for a good run there at the end of the season, which is so cool. Um, and in addition, you also went from the Pac-12 to the Big 12. So can you just speak to your perspective of like what it's been like to kind of be at home, but also then the conference transition, which is very much two separate questions, but
yeah.
chat with me about that sort of stuff.
Yeah, I think honestly, just the disbanding of the big Pac-12 really, I think, hurt gymnastics wise because, like, literally, the Pac-12 is the conference of champions. Like, we have so many good teams. Like, UCLA is always competitive. We're always competitive. It's like Oregon State's on the come up, Arizona State. Like, we're just like a good conference of gymnastics. So it's kind of disheartening, but I mean, it's been really cool to go to some different schools and compete against some different schools too. Um, we get to go out east once a year now, so that's kind of fun. We never really had long travel days, but it's also been like really amazing to still have that relationship with UW and UCLA to be able to compete with them once a year as well. I
Yeah.
mean, it's like I said, those are the best two places in my opinion to go to compete. They're just like such fun arenas and
Yeah.
city's awesome. And then I think it was amazing that we got to stay in Salt Lake City for regionals. We did that my sophomore year as well. It's just like weird though, because you're used to traveling and going and having a long trip. And the girls were like, I don't know, it's kind of sad we don't get like one of our long trips like as a team and with a roommate. It's just like kind of normal. Like you go home and you sleep in your bed and so the girls were like, it's kind of sad, especially for like the older girls. That's like one of their last long trips. But it was nice to be at home. Although when I had regionals here in my sophomore year, it was in the Huntsman Center, or no, sorry, it was in the Maverick Center because we needed more space because of COVID. And so
Mm.
I had never like experienced the Huntsman Center with four teams in it.
Oh
And
yeah.
so that was kind of hectic and crazy, but it was
It
cool.
is kind of amazing how they can fit all that gymnastics equipment on a floor like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for some reason our arena is just like so small on the floor
Yeah.
that like putting four teams in there, I was like, how are we gonna do it? But I mean, they
Yeah.
made it work. So
Well, when I think about it, there's a lot of arenas that like push bleachers back in order to have all of the corrals and all of the equipment for how to host regionals. But you can't do that there. There are cement walls around that oval, but
yeah.
that's awesome. So I chatted with Anna Padavariu earlier this weekend, and one of the questions I asked her was what it was like to compete as an away team in the Huntsman, but also as a home team in the Huntsman. And so, can you just chat a little bit about what it feels to just have such amazing fans that show up week in and week out at the Huntsman? Because truthfully, one of the things I mentioned to Anna was that I believe that the Utah fans are very well educated gymnastics fans. Some people will talk about the booing that might happen, but I've never heard them boo against the away team. They're only booing for scores they don't think should be the right score.
Yeah.
And to me, as a promoter of our sport, that just sounds like people know what they think that they should be seeing. And I can celebrate educated gymnastics fans all day long. So what was it like to have, 14,000 people just there for you, and now just getting to watch your student athletes experience that energy for themselves, especially the freshmen and, newcomers that come onto the team.
I mean, it's pretty amazing to like be in a filled Huntsman Center, just the energy that is like flowing through there. And like you said, I feel like our fans really just enjoy like good gymnastics.
Mhm.
Like I've been to some arenas and they do not care about the other team, and you're just like, oh, okay, this is kind of tough.
Yeah.
But like I feel like at our arena, our fans really just do enjoy good gymnastics. Um, we had a sold out, like huge, great energy crowd for UCLA, our senior night this year.
Yeah.
And honestly, it was like so fun. Like everybody is in there and like it's like all eyes on you. And I mean, it's just something like you'll never really experience again. And that's probably one of the main things that I miss is just like having all the energy geared towards like your gymnastics, your routine, and just like sticking it. Like the roars for Grace's 10 on beam was just like so amazing. And she's been working so hard for that. But yeah, I mean, once you experience it, you never really want to not experience it. So
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's one of those places that it's really awesome to be able to have all those fans on your side,
yeah.
because I would never describe Utah as a place that it was like terrible, rotten fans towards us. I would describe it as a very loud arena, right? It's one of the places that because of the way that the stands like come down into that oval. Um, I just remember when I would as a team manager at UCLA, I was like setting bars, but I was like yelling to try to get someone to move a board, and you couldn't even like hear the person across the 8 incher. And so
Yeah.
I mean, but I am in the business of making noise, so I can celebrate moments like that. So it's cool. It's cool. Okay, Miley, I have one last question for you. We're asking all of the staff members this question that we've been chatting with. Um, Gymnastics is in a really cool spot right now. There's a lot of attention and there's a lot of stories being told, and there's amazing stories within student athletes across the country. But that growth is something that we're celebrating. And the question I want to pose to you is, what would you say to a fan who has never attended a gymnastics meet before to inspire them to come for the very first time, to be able to be another fan in the arena, contributing to this amazing growth that we're experiencing? What would you say is like your like pep talk to get someone into the arena and help with this growth that we're experiencing?
Oh, that's a good question. Um, I feel like I always just like tell them it's so much more fun than you think it will be. And like you're gonna see some like amazing athleticism and some good sportsmanship. And like you're just gonna be like in awe and you're never gonna wanna not be able to come. Like you're once you go to one, you're gonna be hooked. And it's just like such a family friendly event too that I actually had like one of my classmates, because I'm still in classes, come up to me with his daughter and he's like, "This is Miley, blah, blah, blah." We introduced ourselves, took a picture, and then he emailed me the picture afterwards, and was like, Estella's never been like into athletics. She's always just been like, I want to be a boy so I could be an athlete. And I was like,
Oh,
oh my gosh, you should
yeah.
take her to a gymnastics meet. Just
Oh.
like it'll get little girls involved and just like open their eyes. But yeah.
Oh, I love that answer. That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, like BJ from UCLA actually answered this question in a way I've never heard people answer it, but you're kind of touching on a similar um, perspective. Is like, I believe that gymnastics is a gateway for those that might not be a fan of sports, but they appreciate the athleticism, the sportsmanship, the artistry it might I think it's actually a gateway for those that enjoy the theater or enjoy music or enjoy other things that might not be touchdowns and slam dunks, that many people are looking for. And there are things that I can draw equivalents to in our sport in that way.
Yeah.
But it's a gateway for so many people, and it's even a gateway for young kids like Estella to be able to all of a sudden put a picture in front of them of one day they could put on that shiny, sparkly leotard. And then all of a sudden we're helping to create goals and dreams for these kids as well. So, oh, that's a great answer.
That is very true. Like the entertainment value of sports is like what gymnastics is, kind of like ballet and like that type of thing. But
Right. Like when you think about it, like when we're on the competition floor, we want to win. Like we want no deductions and we want to be as perfect as possible. And like there's an internal battle of like the two teams that are happening on the floor
yeah,
in the moment. But to like, I don't know, I've never been a spectator just enjoying a gymnastics meet.
yeah,
To be able to just sit back and like be like, wow, that was a cool flippy twisty thing. Like that must be really cool to experience.
yeah,
Oh,
so
well,
true.
it's cool. Okay, I did pause the time, but we're only like 2 minutes over. But thank you so much, Miley, for hopping on here. It's so cool to see the transition to this coaching role for you going as well as it can, because I do know the transition out of athletics as a student athlete can be very tricky. But I'm very happy that you had Utah Gymnastics on the other side in a new role to be able to be there when those hard moments came. So I'm proud of you, and I can't wait to see you this week in Fort Worth.
Thank you. I'm excited.
Oh, it's going to be fun. All right, guys, that's another episode of 10-Minute Touch Warm Up. This was with Utah Gymnastics, Maile O'Keefe. She's crushing it in a student coaching role over there. So we hope you guys continue to tune in for more episodes this week as we head up to semifinals on Thursday. It's going to be an amazing week. All right, we'll talk to you guys later. Bye.